Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Today we are doing a fanfiction review of As the Stars Burn On, which is a crossover between fairy tale and One Piece. It starts off with Lucy. She's alone because she took a job by herself because everyone is busy scrambling for different jobs and get stronger because the grand games are coming pretty quickly. But she runs into Laxus, and he's there, and he's even surprised that she's talking to him because, after what he did, which is kind of fresh, somewhat, eh. So he's surprised that she wants anything to do with him. But she's on a solo job, and she's just doing like some basic translation. So they end up going together because, she persuades him. It's like, oh, in case I need help, probably won't, but get a little extra protection. So they end up going to the place where just you translate some old runes, and what do you know it? They end up being transported to One Piece, or well, their world. So they end up being transported there, and we don't get what it was like for them, like in the beginning, first being transported there. Like it's kind of summarized in the first, in the beginning of the chapter, where it's just like it's like 8 months later for them, so we just had a time skip. So 8 months later, they've kind of gotten used to it. They're moving around and obviously finding information about the world, the people in it, and so they can move around in it and how to get home. But it is where this is where it's during the what is it? Alabasta. It's Alabasta arc. That's what it is, and it's where they meet the Straw Hats, obviously, during this time. And so they join them in because they're like, yeah, sure, why not? So they end up joining them and obviously helping uh, Vivi and getting back her kingdom and everything. And when all of it's done and they're all kind of settled down a little bit more, recovering, that's when, she Vivi, prints a key, and it's one of the keys because like it looks like a celestial key, but also not really. Like she can feel the magic coming off of it, but it also doesn't really look like any of her other keys because it's made from sea stone. And so, Vivi gives it to her. It's like, oh, I can't even use it, so also, why don't you have it? Because, you know, she's the celestial spirit. So, so she ends up having it, and she doesn't really recognize the constellation because their constellations are different. So the silver keys represent just normal constellations, and her golden ones are Western constellations. So theirs are Eastern. So it's the horse. It's the gate of the horse. So, and unlike unlike hers, which is Sagittarius, where he's like in a horse costume, she actually is like an actual centaur. So there's that when she ends up summoning her, and she has Ponin kind of writing on her arms, and that actually glows because there's a thing is that Hearthalia is also known in that world too. Not widely known or anything, just to the celestial spirits, like they know her. And so, they know her ancestors that previously wielded them. But she can't say much because then the marks start to glow and it restricts her from saying anything. So they clearly, the Harpelias clearly were in that world before, and it was almost, what's the word I'm looking for, prophesized that just like one of them would come back and kind of not set them free, but would wheel them again. And it happens to be Lucy, so obviously. But they end up joining their crew, and because of course, why not travel around? It's what you were already doing anyway. And they were they end up gaining their mark, as in like the Jolly Roger. So now that's just kind of like a tattoo on them. Like, kind of like how it was for the fairy tale symbol that's on them. They end up getting that mark when they join their crew. And obviously they asked about it, and now they're like, we should all get tattoos. So now all of them are like, yeah, we should all get tattoos later. We're back on land. So there's that. And then I forgot. I don't even remember how it came about, but they end up posing as like a married couple. And so that is just something they just stick with her and Laxus. They pose as a married couple because I guess it might have been easier at some point. And so all of them think that they are married. And they're like, obviously, Lucy's very confused at one point. She's like, what are you talking about? Because like she forgot, like you said you were married. It's like, oh right, that's not. So they end up posing as a married couple over a bit. They're not, but you know. After that, they end up going to, oh my god, what is this? It's like the upper yard. It's Skypia. There you go. That whole arc. So they end up going to Skypia, and during that time is when they find Lucy gains the snake key. She doesn't really get it because I mean she does get it obviously, but she's not the one to get it. I think it was Nami and Usopp who end up getting it because they're the ones who end up encountering it. Because Lucy's all fighting her own battle with someone else, so she's not the one to really, she gets it at the end when like Nami hands it to her. So that's when she gains that key. Then after that, when they fall back down and they fall into like the marine base, that's when they run into Gajul and Panther Lily, who obviously they end up joining the crew, but he explains that they were there because he said that he was sent out looking for them because they had been missing for a couple for a while at this point. I don't remember how long he said, but they had been missing for a while at this point, and he attracted them to where they last were, which is where where she was reading the symbols and trying to decipher it, and then he ended up being transported. And just after I ended the base, so you know, worked out though because he ran into them. After that, though, is I was supposed to say Annie's lobby, which I guess is technically not wrong. It's just Annie's lobby. That whole arc. I don't know which one to call it, but Annie's lobby. You know, Water 7, who cares? Annie's lobby doesn't matter. That whole arc with Robin. So obviously they fight for her, but during it is when the moment when, because like Mary has like a spirit, right? Because obviously she came to them and no one was like manning the boat and no one was manning the ship, but she came to them. So Lucy had that thought when they were they putting her to rest to burn her because they need a new ship and Mary can't continue on like this. So they then so in this moment she's thinking I can save her because like she's obviously kind of like has kind of a spirit, and so Lucy ends up using her magic to then bring that forward basically. So now Mary has her own key. It's a wooden one too. So but after that Lucy then gains a mark on her back. It's a black mark. It's a key and it has wings. And the price of doing that is that when she dies, whenever that is, is that she now joins them. So she'll become a spirit too, and that would be her key. Which, what would that mean? You know, you know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, she's going to be a spirit, because and like that's her key, great, whatever, right? But it's like it's is she just gonna be like a normal person or like she's just a normal person, or is she like a spirit who can now summon other spirits? Like what is there to what's what exactly is her thing gonna be? I don't know. Maybe like liar, where she's just like, she has a harp, she plays music. Maybe be like that, but she has that, and but so that was the price that she has to pay. Now is that when she dies, that she will join them, and but now marries the key, so it's all great for them, right? So, but that's also I forgot. This is also where they get the tattoos done, and Luffy like complains about it because he was like knocked out during it. Obviously, he was asleep, so they already got their tattoos without him. So he's upset about that. But after their little when Lucy summons Mary and their little reunion, they set off again and have their little moment of more chaos. They end up picking. They end up picking. I was supposed to say Shanks, not Shanks. Um. Oh my God, what is Brooks? There. They end up picking up Brooke along the way, and I guess he still has his shadow. Like he. So either they're not doing that arc at all. I don't know. We haven't gotten to that point yet because we're in a new arc right now. But they're either not doing that arc at all, or they are, but Brooke just still has a shadow. It's fine. It doesn't bother me. I don't know. I know some people like, which side note, I just really hate. I remember reading one time. I don't remember what it was. It was like a comment or something. It was like a Danny Phantom and DC crossover. I don't remember what fanfiction it was now at this point, but it was like it was like actually they would never make this decision because it's like it's fan fiction. It's fine. I don't think any of these characters make these decisions because they would never meet. It's fine. So fan fiction can be whatever you want it to be. So it just it's like I really hate that when people point that out. Like actually that's not really like that character would never do that. It's like okay, look, it's fan fiction. These characters would technically never meet. So but they end up picking up Brooke, and then so he still has his shadow. They end up meeting him, and then because he just kind of comes to work because he hears the music, and they're off again. And well, they were already off, but they end up seeing a secret island. It's like, oh, it's supposed to be a getaway spot. It's like, oh, it's a, and Brooke's like, oh, I've never heard of it because he's, been there the entire time. So he's like, oh, I've never. So they go there. Like immediately, it's kind of like, oh, I don't like this. And so, because what do you know? It's shady. It eats people. I mean, the big flower does. I mean, it eats people. I don't know. It's whatever. But that's also where Lucy meets another spirit, and this spirit has become real jaded over the years, and they, in their mind, they're like protecting the other spirits because they've waited for how long and said to another Heartfilia, like Lucy would come, and then like, oh, you never did, because for them it's obviously been like years, and for Lucy, like she's never known about any of this, so it's not like this was like ever told to her like you're supposed to go here, like so. But to him, obviously, it's been years, and so he's clearly kind of become jaded over the years, and it's a big mess. But they end up fighting it. They end up fighting it out because he wants to take the rest of the key from her because he, and again in his mind he's protecting them. But obviously that doesn't happen. They win. She ends up getting his key. They all make up. It's like, oh, it's fine. Classic fairy tale way of friendship. So they it, they work it out. And after that arc is, I was I was I was kind of confused. I'm like, where are we going with this? What arc is this? It's not. It's oh my God, what movie is it? It's from the movie Strong World. It's from the movie Strong World where Shiki takes Nami, and so I was very confused because we jumped kind of in the middle of it before we flash back to what got us there. So we're still in the middle of it too. It's like they're still in the middle of writing it, so it's not like this arc has finished or anything. But so far, they have uh they've all gotten separated. They're, they're all kind of running low, technically speaking, but so they all get back to ship. Nami's already kind of been kidnapped, so now they're all getting back to the ship. But they also run into Sabo, uh, and two of the former CP9, because like they, retired and joined the and joined Sabo. So how nice is that? So, but they end up meeting him, and then they meet up with the rest of them after, they establish like, okay, you're with the revolution, and like, you're not like a threat to them. And at this point, I'm like, okay, so Luffy has to recognize Sabo, because like, there's no way he wouldn't. But in this one, so, and I was like, kind of forgot, but Sabo, I think, I'm pretty sure he had like, how long did Sabo have amnesia? Until like Ace died, right? That's right. And then, but in this one, they meet face to face, obviously, and he's like, "Oh, you remind me of Sabo." He also wore a top hat, and but he didn't have that scar or anything like that. So it's like, and his name was also Sabo, and he's like, "Oh, well, we would have gotten along." He's like, "Yeah, but he's dead," and it's like he's very clearly uncomfortable, like Luffy. He's uncomfortable reliving this, and so he's just like, "I'm hungry," and just translates immediately to that, even though he's clearly like uncomfortable recalling the memories, but. You know, so that's where we are in the middle of that. So there's 42. There's 42 chapters of uh technically out of 70, since they have the little slash out of 70 thing, but that could change because I don't know, happens with plenty of fanfic writers where they're like, it's out of 13, and then it goes up because they add a couple more. So, but for now, they have 42 chapters. So it's I do like it. um, the cross, like in the cross between them, and the whole dynamics between all of them, how stupidly they kind of egg each other. They really do egg each other on between was it Laxus and Zoro? It's like, please don't, please don't. Please don't fight. We really don't need this from both of you, but that's kind of what you get from them. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!